Hello everyone and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, 41-year-old Anthony Michael Luft of Grand Saline was sentenced to 10 years in prison for indecency with a child by sexual contact Tuesday by District Judge Eddie Northcutt in 8th District Court in Sulphur Springs. The man was arrested March 28th in Grand Saline. The arrest came after a joint investigation by the Sulphur Springs Police Department and Child Protective Services following an outcry by the victim. The incident was first reported in another jurisdiction, but the incident occurred in Sulphur Springs. Luft entered a guilty plea in the case prior to sentencing by Judge Northcutt. Two local business operators in downtown Sulphur Springs expressed concern to city officials recently about concerns of unsupervised middle school kids in downtown Sulphur Springs late at night. They referred to the problem as being out of control. They say the children use foul language, overturn trash cans, run back and forth, and get into fights. Sometimes the children gather in groups as large as 20. City officials were told the problem is especially bad on weekends and during holidays. City Attorney Jim McElroy is drafting a curfew ordinance for the council to consider at their regular January meeting. It is aimed at unsupervised children under 17 years of age. It would not apply to children with parents or a guardian. McElroy said the ordinance would go into effect at something like either 9 or 10 o'clock or 10 or 11 o'clock and then run until 6 a.m.
A delightful visit with Dr. Ty Pham, a podiatrist newly with Christa Sulphur Springs. Her practice, the former Dr. Brancho, Dr. Minshew office, will follow those patients and also welcomes new patients to foot specialists of Tri-County. Let's meet Dr. Ty Pham.
First, want to say that I'm very glad and pleased that I get to be here, and especially within Sulphur Spring community. I just want to tell you guys a little bit about myself.
Please do.
I came from Vietnam. I don't know you heard of boat people back in the early 1980s, but that's when I able to get out of the country, and I was immigrant over in Malaysia for a couple years before I get to the United States. So I got my I went to school in high school here in the state, and I went to college at UT Dallas, and I graduated there with my biology degree. So I went on and applied to medical school, and I got into podiatry school in 2005.
Okay.
And but before that, the reason I get into podiatry was I was joined the military in the in the U.S. here, and that's how I get exposed a lot to podiatry. And also, my mom developed diabetes during that time, and so I take her to the doctors, and that's how I get exposed to podiatry and learn a lot about diabetes, and that's what continue my interest until today.
So, as a youngster, when maybe you were making up your mind about what you would do when you were able to get and take training, but podiatry was not particularly an interest at that time.
Yeah, back in my country, doctors go to the houses to see patients. We live in the village, small villages, and doctors just come to your home and see you as a patient. And when I grown up, I always see that with my grandma and my grandpa, that the doctors come to see them in the bed, and I just love that, and I vision that. And so when I come to state, I didn't speak any English, so I still love medical field, but I didn't know how I go about to do that, and that's how I joined the military. I thought I can get money and go to school, so that's how I get started, and of course podiatry wasn't. You wouldn't know what podiatry is when you was in high school and such. Sure. But that's when I joined the military, and that's how I know about podiatry and the diabetes because of my own mom. Okay.
Well, I love hearing how your take on medical care and although our technology is way beyond now, still that caring, personal caring, and going beyond as a human being, I can see is part of your personality.
Well, thank you. And I believe in that. I believe that we do use a lot of technology here. I don't know. I'm not that old, but then I'm still old school in terms of diagnosis in the medical field or my patients. I still think that we do use a lot of technology to diagnose things. So I still think that we use a lot of medication to treat things. I think we need to back up on that. I mean, I see patients on meds, 20 medications or such, and then, a lot of time we just need to reconsolidate or rethink of what we take it for. And I think it's really overused compared to where I came from.
I think there are many patients who would be attracted to your philosophy there on that. Well, let's go back and find out when you graduated. As you explained to me, once you graduate with a degree like you did from Philadelphia, a Temple University there in 2005, you had a doctorate in podiatric medicine. Am I saying that right? Podiatric.
Correct.
But you had to do your residency. So where'd you do that?
Yeah, so let's back up a step. So when you graduate from undergrad, you can get your bachelor degree in any field. Some people even go to engineer. Some people go into more biology, chemistry, and then apply to podiatry school. And so I major in biology, so I went on and applied to medical school and get to podiatry program. But after you're done with your medical training, 4 years of medical training, you got a degree, DPM, which is stand for Doctor in Podiatric Medicine. With this degree, you still can't go and practice. I go on and do my internship or residency, and I end up in San Antonio at UT San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
I trained there for 4 years to do podiatric surgery. And during this time, I love San Antonio because we had a lot of population where back in 15 years ago, the borders still open, and so we had a lot of illegal Mexican kind of population come through that area, and so I serve at the county hospital, so I get a lot of exposure with abscesses, gangrenes, or diabetic infection in general, and that's how my subspecialty is in that. So I did my wound care subspecialty doing that training, and that's how I met a general surgeon that came from Winsboro to San Antonio for the wound care training, and after I graduated, I keep connection with him, and that's how I end up in Winsboro, because I wouldn't know where Winsboro is.
It's true. And you stayed there a good long time.
I've been there will be my 15 years.
Okay.
And I'm still going to Winsboro Clinic, and I'm there Wednesday a week.
Okay.
So I'm still serving both Christus Hospital, which is Winsboro, and Sulphur Spring. But Sulphur Spring will be my main location now.
Well, and that opened a whole new chapter of your life, which we want to tell everyone about your clinic here. But I'm sure along this time, another big chapter opened because you have a family.
Oh, yes. I would love to share that. I got married for the same time as I moved to San Antonio, which is 15. No. I married for 17 years now, and I have 4 children.
Okay.
I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and my first boy, he's a special need.
Okay.
So I do love to treat my special need patient.
Okay.
Both pediatric and adults, special need.
Well, you bring a lot of experience and expertise to what you do for us here in Sulphur Springs, which 4 days a week you're in your clinic. Is is that right, here, and then one
Yes.
day in Winsboro, serving through the Christus Health System. Now, where is your clinic?
I am right next to the hospital, or you said it's on 119 Medical Circle, which is the same clinic that Dr. Branshaw and Dr. Minchie was in. That was used to call the Foot and Ankle Clinic.
Okay. Now it has a new name.
Yes, my company name called Foot Specialists of Tri-County, but it's still just me, Thai Fam.
Okay. And that's since September that the new wording went
Yes,
up on
it's
the
just
building.
been three months.
Okay, great. Now, you have some people working in your office.
Yes, I have 4 staff currently, so they all help with appointments, care for patients, and we do surgery scheduling right in the office.
Okay. So you are the doctor there, and you also purchased this business from the doctors, and now it is your clinic.
Oh yes, I am glad you bring that point up. That meant that I do have all the charts or patient charts that from the previous doctors that all the patient that used to come to that clinic. I take over those patient charts. So I do have those patient records if it's needed.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you now, as you're practicing podiatry here in Sulphur Springs for the benefit of not just us, but as you mentioned, Tri-County, as a podiatrist, do you see children and adults and all ages?
That's correct. I see all ages. Simple thing from ingrown toenails to actual toes in their feet with the babies, or fractures, bunion deformities, hammertoe deformity, flat feet. Especially, like I said, I love to see diabetes patients. Would keep them on their feet, and my motto is lift your feet in my hand, and
Okay.
and we help with of course diabetic shoes, diabetic brace, or anything related to your foot and ankle that you should able to put trust in our hands.
Wonderful to know. Dr. Thai Pham, and very pleased to be in the Sulphur Springs community, as you mentioned. And you're just delightful. The number, though, if they need to call your clinic, is still the same.
Yes, and it's 903-885-2754.
Okay. Well, a delightful person, and also someone with not only so much medical knowledge and expertise to share, and of course, as you go forward, and you say you're not old, well, you're certainly not. You have a long career here to hopefully continue to serve us, but you just bring an element of experience that we would never could say that we have gone through, such as you, to come to the United States.
Well, I do appreciate it. I really fortunate that I get where I'm at. So I appreciate all of your support, and I have a lot of lovely support. Start out with this conversation, like I didn't initiate it. It was Miss Holly was the one that make sure I keep me on my feet and help me growing in the community by introducing myself to you guys.
Okay, well, you will have no problem at all with that. And thank you to Holly Reagan, who does schedule all of our interviews from members of our hospital staff and medical community here on KSST in the morning show, such as we're doing right now. And so before we close, I'll ask you if there's anything else you'd like to share with us, or any little gap we may have not filled in on your life journey, because we're very interested in our listeners, I would say, very interested in our doctors and those who provide our medical needs here. We're so happy that we don't have to go to other towns now to receive good care in all kinds of specialties.
The only last thing I like to say is that we should not put up or live with the foot pain, and I'm here to help. If anyone out there that due to financial reason that not able to that worry about that aspect, and please give us a call in our clinic, and we would love to help.
Okay. Thank you very much to Dr. Ty Pham. Your name is easy, Ty Pham. And we hope to see you again here on the morning show.
Well, thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. The same to you.
In sports, the Wildcats basketball team, ranked number 5 in Class 5A, had a good Thursday, winning their first 2 games in the Mansfield ISD Spring Creek Barbecue Classic Tournament. The Wildcats outscored A&M Consolidated of College Station Thursday morning 68-61, and then defeated Mansfield High School Thursday afternoon 68-49. Both games were played at Mansfield High School. Against A&M Consolidated, the Wildcats were led by Day Hall with 29 points. Cameron Kahn added 20 points. Grayson McClure had 9 points. Lamadrick Johnson had 7 points. Boo Wilkerson scored 4 points, and Justin Hare added 2 points. Against the host team, Mansfield, the Wildcats had 5 players score in double figures in that win. Boo Wilkerson led all Wildcat scorers with 13 points. Justin Hare, Cameron Kahn, and Grayson McClure all scored 12 points. Day Hall had 10 points. Justin Brock had 5 points, Caleb Alexander 3 points, and Lamadrick Johnson added 2 points. The Wildcats improved their season record to 6-1. The number 16 ranked Saltillo Lady Lions picked up a pair of wins Thursday in the Craig Reed Invitational Tournament in Dodge City. The Lady Lions defeated North Lamar 73-36 and Sam Rayburn 61-47. Against the North Lamar Pantherettes, the Lady Lions got 25 big points from Chandler Bain. Anna Reeder also had a strong game with 18 points. Maddie Smith and Allie Lane both had 8 points. Brittany Peoples and Juliana Giles scored 6 points each, and Christina Wade added 2 points. Against Sam Rayburn, Anna Reeder led the Lady Lions in scoring with 29 points, and Maddie Smith had 11 points. Juliana Giles and Chandler Bain had 6 points apiece. Brittany Peoples scored 4 points. Christina Wade had 3 points, and Allie Lane chipped in 2 points. The Lady Lions improved their season record to 10-4. And that's Channel 18 TV News for today. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.